Alright folks, welcome back. This is KGB Customs LLC, the, in my opinion, best channel on YouTube for custom handgun content. We mix in a little custom long gun content from time to time if I get something in that I find interesting enough to share with you folks. Take a moment now. If you aren't already on our email list, there's a link in the description to do that. That'll give you first notice of new arrivals here at the shop and any other shop news worth sharing. We don't spam you with anything, just let you know when new stuff comes in. We appreciate you all for tuning in. I'll take a moment to thank all those who laid it all on the line this Memorial Day weekend. Let's remember them and honor them in our own ways. On to the gun. This is a Steve Morrison of Mars Armament build. This is a fairly recent build, a fairly modern build, probably built, I haven't contacted Steve, but probably 2022-ish build. The gun is, the serial number is too new to find it on Colt's serial number lookup, so I assume the gun was pretty much new when it was sent to Steve. We've got a, it would have been called a model 1991. Now it has the traditional roll marks on it, which you may or may not see in the video there, but you can see in the thumbnail. And so it is an 80 series government model pistol, but these 2000s era model 1991s are really nice base guns, straight guns, fairly consistent machining in them, dimensionally pretty good. A little bit about, so this would have been called a, I believe Steve called them the Thug. And a little bit about the Thug moniker. I'm going to go ahead and quote a good article my friend Daryl Bulkey wrote a few years ago on the background of that moniker and a little bit of background on Steve. So these are a quote. The following is a quote from Daryl. Finding the right balance in a fighting gun between a custom-built work of functional art and a level of ruggedness and reliability is a tough requirement. Too often, there are compromises on one side of that or the other. Every now and then you get lucky and find a pistol smith who can build a 1911 with just the right mojo. The result is a hard-use, general carry 1911 that can stand up cosmetically and aesthetically with the big boys. One such pistol is the Thug, built by pistol smith Steve Morrison out of Linden, Utah. Pause there. I think Steve is currently, the article's a few years old. I think Steve is currently operating out of the Salt Lake City area. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm mistaken there. I know he has moved a few times. Back to the article. I told Steve that I was on the eternal quest for a good 1911 that had simple reliability, ease of maintenance like my trusty Glock 17, but that also boasted the slick handling, good looks, and confidence that only a well-made 1911 embodies. Without batting an eye, Steve said, "You need a Thug." "Okay, I'll bite. What the heck is a Thug?" I replied. "It is the Twite hard-use gun." Steve smiled. I was familiar with legendary alpine climber Mark Twite, a highly respected trainer within the most elite Tier 1 military special operations units. Mark was a true subject matter expert on high altitude and cold weather training and survival, crisis nutrition, and climbing in extreme environments. He is also an accomplished shooter. It should be obvious why he is in demand from certain elite units for his unique background. Steve told me that he worked with Mark closely on the Thug in order to rectify some problems Mark was having with a very expensive custom 1911 he was carrying and using at the time. Mark wanted something simple that would also hold up to the demands of a full-time training gig. This is what Mark wanted in Mark's own words. A pistol is a 25-yard weapon maximum. It must be idiot-proof, tough, able to be dropped, used to beat someone with. It doesn't need babying. It should go a couple thousand rounds without maintenance and should be easily cleaned in the field with no tools and without costing too much psychic energy. A pistol should have a coating that resists my acidic sweat and any other noxious substances that it might contact. The coating should reduce the quantity of lubricant needed, which means less gooey stuff to attract grit. The grips should be made from something extremely tough, so if I or the factory double charge a case, I won't lose a finger. I still have pieces of a Glock 21 in my hand from just such an experience. The sight picture should be open so that you can see the front blade when the sights are aligned. You can see around the front blade when the sights are aligned. But the front sight should be thick enough that dropping it won't bend or break it. It should be pinned and brazed in place. The plunger tube should also be brazed in place. And I want a full-size firing pin, meaning a 45 ACP if we're talking about Colts. I don't want any checkering or scallops, just some grooves in the back of the mainspring housing. I like a smooth gun, even in a sweaty hand. Basically, I want the gun that isn't finicky or high-strung, that has the highest quality internals so that I can treat it as I please, knowing that it won't let me down. It must be built on a proletariat frame. It should definitely not cost an arm and a leg, and it should not take 2 years to build. The gun needn't look like a trophy won on a golf course. To summarize in 25 words or less, I want the performance of a 1911 combined with the idiot-proof personality of a Glock. So there's the words from Twite, who the pistol is basically named after. And Morrison has been building the Thug pistol for going on 2 decades now, I would say. So, what are the features on this gun? This gun does have some extra kisses, some extra features that the original Twite Vision maybe didn't have. And it certainly has a couple of modifications done that I don't think Steve has offered on any other builds, to my knowledge. I know that they were unique to this gun when this gun was built. I'm not sure that he's replicated them since then for anyone. So this gun, starting at the top, has a Novak gold bead front sight. That's a 125 width sight. They're pretty much bulletproof. Even should the gold bead fall out of this sight, the front post is still going to stand up to any abuse you want to throw at it. The rear unit is one of Steve's designs. These mount in a low mount Novak cut. And Steve's version is pretty low profile, has a good cocking shoulder here, and not a lot of muss and fuss. It's got a pretty decent D-horn on it so that it's not going to tear you up in over-the-top manipulation of the slide. The slide is flat-topped. This gun does retain its Colt barrel. In notes from the original client, Steve checked out this barrel and the frame and slide for fitment and found that the Colt barrel actually fit quite well. And I can attest to that, as the Colt barrel, both legs of the lower lugs are making contact with this slide stop that Steve fit to the gun. So really it does fit pretty well. And you know, we're talking about a hard use pistol here, not a Camp Perry match gun. The front end, we've got a flush cut and crown barrel mounted in a thick flange match bushing. The bushing fits nice and snug, but can be removed with the fingers, no tools required. One of the special features of this gun are the mini golf ball texture on the recoil plug. You'll see that that part is flush to the thick flange bushing. Moving to the back here, we have those mini golf balls carried over onto the pad of this EGW grip safety. We've got Steve's texture on the front and rear here. The gun has a very nice, high, tight front strap radius there. Front cocking serrations are milled on in the Colt fashion, and they match very nicely front to rear. We've got, of course, aftermarket controls and trigger work and aftermarket internals you'd expect to see on a full house custom gun. This gun has one of Steve's, I believe it's an SLR rail to mount Surefire lights to. That's a nice low profile, nicely dehorned This is a much more carry-friendly rail than a full-railed frame with Picatinny 1913 or whatever mounting, railed frame mounting systems that are out there. Steve started making these, I believe, when Dawson quit making them, or Dawson's were just really hard to get. I forget exactly. Moving down the gun here, we've got, of course, those bulletproof grips that were mentioned in that article. These are, of course, G10. They have Colt medallions inset for decoration, but at the bottom here we have a lanyard loop that's inset into the mainspring housing so that it does not protrude from the gun, which gives you clearance to pull magazines out, slam magazines home without running into an extended lanyard loop. Magwell bevel is huge on this gun. We see, I'm guessing this is a Chen mainspring housing that he's modified heavily, but it is the Chen max bevel style where the bevel of the magwell extends dramatically back into the mainspring housing and the web of the frame gets cut out to enlarge that opening without extending the frame out. But yeah, just a nice, smooth, pretty soft gun in the hand. Like Dwight describes in his words, he doesn't like a gun to dig at him on high round count stuff. And also if you're married to the gun, i.e. you're carrying it all the time, certainly 20 and 30 LPI can be kind of snaggy with certain fabrics and certain environments. It can also certainly play hell on your undershirts if you're concealing, and car seats if you're not concealing. Another neat feature on this is the front ledge of the mag catch is beveled down. Really, you're only ever pushing the back half of that button anyway, so that kind of all makes sense, I think, in a tactical space to relieve that slightly, so that button can't get hit when holstering the weapon. Overall, a neat gun. As far as I know, Steve is still working. I know that there's been some people trying to find him online here lately. He's not had much online presence in recent years, but I imagine it's a matter of being covered up with work and trying to work through that backlog. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and enjoy tuning in. I certainly enjoy sharing with you folks. There'll be some videos, boxes that pop up here at the end. If you're not subscribed, there will be a button for that, and we ask that you do subscribe if you enjoy hanging out with us here. And some other cool videos that you should probably check out. Thanks for tuning in, and again, everyone have a safe and blessed Memorial Day holiday.